Stop going after people who aren't interested in you. It'll be rather obvious when somebody isn't interested in you. I know quite often we tend to ignore the signs, and that makes us believe that it isn't obvious, but if you pay attention, we can usually tell when somebody isn't interested in us. For instance, the dating process will be incredibly difficult. Maybe they'll make a ton of excuses as to why they can't see us, why they're busy and they can't make time for dates, and they basically just won't seem super motivated to get to actually see you in person. And also, you may often be a bit confused about how they feel about you. And I can pretty much tell you with probably like 90% certainty, if you're ever confused about the way somebody feels about you, that's probably a good sign that they actually aren't interested in you. Because if somebody truly is interested in you, it usually is something that they convey in some way or another, even if they are too shy to outright say it. They'll make it apparent by choosing to spend their time with you, by trying to see you at least once a week or maybe even more, by communicating with you often, by flirting with you when you're together in person. They'll just find ways to convey their interests. Sometimes, if they're incredibly shy, it can even just be the way that they look at you. Like, I've actually gotten pretty good at being able to tell from a woman's gaze whether or not she likes me when we're on a date, just the way she looks at me. So there are signs that will basically betray whether or not somebody is interested in you. So if you're confused about how they feel about you, I hate to say it, but that probably means they're not interested in you. So, knowing that, the right thing to do in these cases is just to stop spending your time on these people. I know that can be difficult because you may have fabricated this ideal version of them in your mind and you already envisioned marrying them and having children, starting a family, and creating a life together. But that's just something you need to stop yourself from doing with people in the future because that's a very bad habit. So try not to create this idealized version of them in your mind. Try to analyze them based on who they are in reality. Pay attention to their behavior, their actions, the way they act around you, the way they treat you, and judge them based on that, not that version of them in your mind that is way better than they'll ever be. So it's just take it from my own experience because when I was younger, I used to spend so much time on women who weren't interested in me, and it was a waste of time. It never went anywhere. They were likely just using me for attention and validation, and I just didn't know it at the time. So if you can spot these signs that somebody is likely not interested in you, then just stop seeing them further. In fact, you may even find in some cases that once you give them space and you show them that, hey, if you're gonna be like that, if you're not going to reciprocate my feelings, then I'm not going to spend time on you, that may actually make them start to like you. But even if it does, you may want to question whether or not it's worth bringing them back into your life if it took you giving them space to make them realize what you brought to the table. There are psychological reasons for why giving someone space can make them come back to you, but it's just, I always wonder and question whether or not it's worth bringing them back in at that point because it's just so dumb. You should go for people who are able to recognize your value and what you bring to the table from the beginning, not people who only figure it out once you leave their life for a temporary amount of time. None of that crap. That's just, life is too short to spend time on people who choose you as their second option. You should be somebody's first option, nothing below that. But just to share with you the psychology of why giving somebody space will make them come back to you, the primary reason there is usually because it shows that you aren't needy. Because quite often when we really like someone, we can be a bit needy. We can kind of shower them with too much love and attention, and that can be a bit much for people. So that neediness will tend to push people away. So if you are a bit more romantic, then if you give somebody space, it may make them come back because then they'll be like, holy crap, this person actually isn't needy like I thought they were, and I like them, or whatever it may be, and then they may come back to you. And that's just one reason. There are a bunch of other things. I mean, psychology is it's a fascinating subject, but for the most part, if somebody needs space to figure out your worth, if they weren't interested in you before, or at least they didn't have their whole heart in it, you really should ask yourself whether or not you want to include them in your life. Are they worth it? Would you want to have friends who don't truly care about you and who only are in your life when it's easy for them? Do you really want that? I've had friends like that in the past, and it is horrible. That's why I don't talk to those people anymore. I'm constantly assessing whether or not my friends are actually deserving of a spot in my life, because I would rather have no friends than have friends in my life who just are only ever there when it's convenient for them, because I don't want to deal with that crap. So do you want to deal with that with romantic interests? Remember, romantic interests are usually people you're pushing to either enter into a relationship with or even to marry eventually. Do you want to marry someone like that or get into a long-term relationship with someone like that? I hope to God that your answer is no. Because if it isn't, then you need to practice more self-love, because you don't believe you're deserving of good things, and that's just unfortunate. So practice self-love first and foremost so you can get to that place where you actually want what's best for you. But anyway, my whole point with this video is just that if someone isn't interested in you, don't spend any more time on them. It's just not worth it. It's a waste of your time, and time is precious. It's something that we can't ever get more of. Almost every other resource in life we can get more of. You can make more money over time, but you can never get back lost time. So don't waste your time on the wrong people. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and if so, please like, comment, share, and subscribe or follow if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci!